Welcome to episode 103, Focus and Drive. You are not focused enough. You need to know more about the plans, more about the building, and more about what needs to be done than anyone else. I'll talk about how.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're ready for a short podcast where we are ready to self-reflect and do better. Today, we're going to talk about focus and drive. The two things that I don't exactly know where they come from, and I don't exactly know how to teach it, but I do know how we can model it. I do know that you need it, and nobody, and I repeat, nobody is going to succeed without focus and without drive. And I like this because I'm preparing right now for Field Engineer Boot Camp, and we have a lot of participants that are getting prepared, and they are really needing to be focused, and they're needing to drive right now with passion. And right now, in this industry, and with the generations that are coming up, and I'm not one of those, generational elitists, but with the generations that are coming up, there are some habits that will not serve you well in construction. We absolutely have to warn you about those. We have to get out of those bad habits, and we really need to make sure that we're focused and that we have drive on our projects so that you can be successful. But I would like to first thank all of the field engineers that listen to this podcast, that share this podcast, and that are really trying to help others along their journey, help people to have better marriages, better careers, better growth, better everything, better education, so that they can be foundational builders in 10 to 15 years when all of these wonderful people grow into the positions of industry leaders. This industry is going to be something remarkable. Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for learning. Thank you for all of your sacrifice and for being remarkable. Most new folks in construction act like children. They act like kids. They act like teenagers, and not like the hard workers of the past that I have envisioned in my mind. And yet they're hard workers, but they don't act like they're hard workers, and that is really going to take them in a bad direction. And I hate to talk about myself. I really do. I do like to talk, but I don't like to talk about myself. But when I was first in construction, I would clean the tools, I would clean the back of the truck, I would go get it, I would ask for things to do, and one of my foremen once said to my dad, he tries really hard and he works harder than anybody else, but we don't let him have anything sharp. What he meant is that my enthusiasm and energy outpaced some of my carefulness at the time, and I eventually learned how to be safe, but at least you could give me the fact and the credit and the praise that I was hardworking and that I had focus. I knew what I wanted and that I had drive. I could go out there and I could win and I could make that a consistent habit and I could impress the people I needed to impress and learn the things that I needed to learn. And that then led into I was a more proficient concrete finisher and form setter and equipment operator, and I learned how to drive the backhoes, which is a very dangerous operation, and I would run the chute. Even when some of the old-timers, and I'm not saying they were old and discriminating against that, but some of the old-timers who had been at the company a long time and liked to just always run the chute, I'd be like, hey, here's donuts, give it to me. I want to do that. I want to learn that. I want to learn how to run the backhoe. And then when I was a field engineer, give me the total station. I want that. Give me the computer. Give me. I was focused, and I had drive, and I outworked everybody. And when I was on that finishing crew, when I first worked at Hensel Phelps out there on those prisons in Victorville, and there were 15, 20, 30 other finishers around me who were doing all those tilt panels, I made sure that nobody was working harder than I was. Now, eventually I had to switch it into who was working the most effective, but to start out as a field engineer and as a person coming from the craft to a field engineering position, my focus was to outwork everybody, and I did it. I had focus and drive, and it really has made the difference for me in my career. Now, this might sound like something that your dad or your uncle or your first boss would tell you, but I'm here to tell you these things so you can learn from wisdom and not sad experience. In order to be successful, you have to be focused at work, and you have to be focused on work. And it seems to me that people coming out of high school and coming out of colleges, they're so, and I am too, we're all in this situation, so addicted to phones, so out of balance with our work habit. We've been babied so much that we're distracted and we're not present and we're focused on things at home and we're texting and we're watching football games and we're checking out YouTube and we're just distracted. And we can't do that. We have to come to work and we have to be in the zone. I mean, we have to be like absolutely focused, crazy. Like when the ball comes out, like Eric Thomas always says, I'm going to be the first one to get that ball. And I know that there's 10, 15, 1,000 other people that want that same ball. There's 1,000 other people that want just what I want. And I've got to be out there and I've got to work harder and longer and grind better. And I have to be the hardest working and the fastest learning person out there on the field, on the game, on the project, wherever I am. And that's what we have to do. And in order to do that, we have to be present. Put down your phone, put down your texting, put down your YouTube. Let your family deal with what's going on at home. You make sure that you are focused and 100% present at work. And you only work on things that you should be working on at work. Stop the texting, stop the YouTube. Marry somebody that knows you're going to be focused at work unless there's an emergency, and let's get to it. If you're not present, if you're not following up, if you're not ahead of things, if you're not present with corporate company items, and if you're not checking your email, and if you're not checking your messages, if you're not doing your trainings, if you're not present in the company, then you're not going to progress. How many field engineers have I seen? I can tell you many, half, that come to work, they get to one task, they get comfortable, they get settled in their chair, they get their computer, they get their task, and they just zone out and they want to just work in that little field. They found their comfort zone. People are getting out of college and out of high school and they're like, I'm going to run headlong and go headlong into this situation and get this job. I'm going to go find the first corner I can hide out in. I'm going to find the first computer I can get tied up in. I'm going to find the first task that I can get involved in, and I'm just going to hide there. And they're not present, they're not following up, they're not getting ahead, and they're not tied to communication systems. When they come out to work, kind of like an accident, and they get into their comfort zones and they just stay there, and they don't have the drive and the passion. And for those that have that, wake up, like, let's go, on we go. Like, we need to get this figured out and get you out of your comfort zone. For those of you field engineers that get out there and you grind and you drive and you have passion and you're getting it and you're going to be the honey badger and you're acting like the badger and you're just getting that information, I praise thee. I praise you. You are fantastic. Keep going. Because we have to be excited. We have to talk excited. We have to be passionate. You have to walk excited. You have to dress excited. You have to come to work with passion. You have to ask a lot of questions. You got to get your bags on. You got to go out there, put your shoulders back, put your head forward and say, I'm going to conquer this task. And you can't be like, oh, in a half hour, I'll get my tools out there. Oh, I got to go back to the office and get my computer. Oh, I need to get the calcs. Oh, I don't have this ready. Oh, wait for me. No, dude, like, let's go. Let's go. You should be out there ready to go, early, prepared, everything ready, fieldbook ready, equipment ready. You are ready. Your bag's on. The information ready. You know what you're doing. The area is cleared. You got the broom. You're ready to go. Field engineers need to go out there and get it done. This is the position where I'm going to tell you that you need to work harder than anybody else. This is your time to work hard. You just say, honey, or whoever your spouse is at home, male, female, partner, whatever, you say, honey, I'm going to be doing this for like 3 years. I'm going to be grinding for like 3 years. This is the only position that I personally, Jason Schroeder, will recommend working 60, 65 hours, because this is your time to burn through some of your testosterone, some of your health, and just grind and get it and learn and own it and love it and be passionate about it. This is your time. So you have to be a go-getter. You have to be ahead of your layout. You have to be that field engineer that will be out there just grinding, seeing, oh, they're already out there doing it. You have to be that field engineer that will show up at 4 a.m. to do lift drawings before the heat of the day. You have to be out there and like really be on top of safety. You have to be out there talking to your foreman. You have to over communicate. So let me ask you a question. If you're like, yeah, Jason, I get all these things. I do it. This is a waste of time. I'm turning off this podcast. Hey, fine. I love it. They're free anyway. But ask yourself this question. Does your voice sound low energy? Do you talk with low energy? Do you walk with low energy? Do you go slow in the things that you do? Do you have to be reminded of what to do? Do you have to be told what to do? Do you have to be lined out all the time? Do you have to be brought in because you're not aware to be aware of the things that you're supposed to be doing? Are you reading? Do people have to force you to read books? Do people have to force training on you because you're not going and getting it? Do people have to give you equipment like computers because you're not asking for it? Do people have to start your day for you because you're not self-starting? Do you say things like, well, no one told me that, or I wasn't taught that, or nobody showed me that, or nobody gave me that, or they still don't have my computer, or they still don't, or they, excuse, whine, wah, wah, like give it up. Forget about it. Like it is not going to work for you to be the victim. Are you going and getting it? So if any of those things sound familiar to you, then we need to snap out of it and let's go. Because the current condition is that some of the people that are in construction are still acting like kids. And I'm not saying I was perfect. Let me tell you one little example. I was doing some layout. We had a break. I was waiting for somebody to do something, and I was sitting down. And the general superintendent came up to me. He was like, Jason, I don't ever want to see you sitting down on this project. You need to be up, alert, awake, looking at safety, doing your layout, and preparing. And that was a message to me. And the second thing, he was like, if you don't show up on time, Jason, I'm going to fire you. And these messages were necessary for me because I was a kid. I didn't go to college. I was 19 and a half years old. I didn't know anything about what I was doing. I was super immature and I had to be taught. And that's why I'm on this podcast teaching you. You have to stop acting like a kid. You have to get out there and you have to be a man. You have to be a woman. You have to be a leader. And you have to have the disciplined behavior, the disciplined thought, the disciplined actions to go do your role well. And so here are some challenges for you. You got to be addicted. And I've said this before, so I'm not going to go too far into it. You have to be addicted in construction. You have to love it. You got to have it in your veins. You got to have it like caffeine flowing through your veins. And you have to have a spouse or a life partner that is supportive. That's a must. You cannot go the rest of your career in construction and not have a spouse that is supportive. They have to be supportive with the schedule, the flexibility, the late nights, the early nights when you're able to take them, but the hard work that you're going to be able to do. If you have to babysit your family, your spouse through everything and be home and never focus on work when you're there and you always have to coddle that behavior, then you need to go be a banker. You can't have an unsupportive spouse. You need to show up on time. You need to stop texting personal texts at work. You need to act professionally. You need to talk professionally. You can't write emails like you're texting. You need to make sure that you're writing professional emails. And then here's the most important one. Over communicate. Ask 1,000,000 questions in a day. Tell everybody what you're doing. Over communicate to your superintendent and ask 1,000,000 questions. And if you have a company issued phone, keep your phone on you, answer the calls and return the phone calls. If you have a company issued radio, keep your radio on you. Make sure your super can get a hold of you. Make sure that you're communicating and over communicating. And again, you have to work really, really, really hard. This is the time in your career when you need to drive and you need to work and you need to get it and you need to grind and you need to get out there and get ready. When that ball comes out, you're going to be the one that grabs that ball. You're going to be the one that grabs that ball. I want you reading. I want you reading the best books in the industry. I want you to read cover to cover at least twice the Field Engineering Methods Manual by Wes Crawford. And if you follow the process, field engineering is not an art form. It's not a guess. It's not how you want to do it. Everything in that Field Engineering Methods Manual, it's a science. It's a process. It's an exact science. You follow the processes, you win. You don't follow the processes, you lose. So I need you studying that. You need to be the hardest working person out there. Right now, if you are not the hardest working person on your project site, if you don't know the most about the plans in those areas than anybody else on your project site, if you don't have a better relationship with the inspectors than anyone else on their project site, if you don't know and communicate with the foreman more than anybody else on your site for your areas, then you are not winning right now. You are not winning. But don't worry, you can, because you can start tomorrow. And I know that there are people, and there's somebody that I was just interacting with just a little while back. And he comes in at 8 o'clock, kind of like an accident, plugs into the computer, doesn't say anything, doesn't ever speak up. Superiors are gone, doesn't take the initiative to run the meetings, doesn't take the initiative to ask questions, isn't really good energy, doesn't communicate, doesn't speak up, always acts like he's half asleep. And I was in a meeting with him and he's like, well, I just always knew that I would be successful and that I could authentically be me and that I didn't have to speak up and I didn't have to go get it. I didn't have to plan for the future and that I'm just going to be myself and I don't really need to go advertise myself. And that guy, if he doesn't reinvent himself, he will be an engineer on a construction site for the next 15 years. low energy, low enthusiasm, low communication, low everything, and thinks he's above it because we've been taught that some of these traits are okay. Go be yourself. It's going to be fine. You don't have to communicate. Stay in your head. Stay in your comfort zone. You don't have to push yourself out. Just go do what you want. Find a career that you want. I agree with finding a career that you want, but we don't always do the things we want. You need to be out of your comfort zone and learning. So do not do that. In closing, you want to be the field engineer that they say, always here on time, always grinding, always got his bags on, always got her stuff ready. She always has her information ready to go. I never have to wait. Hardest working person on the project site, knows most about the plans. These are the things that you want your superintendent to say about you. And so the vision for this is that you can go spend these years, enjoy it, and be the best builder that you can be and make it farther and faster than anybody else. And when 1,000 other people want what you want, you're the hardest working one, and you're going to get there faster, and you're going to win, and you're going to lead a crew and a group and an industry that is remarkable and takes care of our workers and preserves our families. If you have any questions, reach out to me, give me feedback. I'll give you feedback. We'll do another podcast topic. We'll do an interview. Whatever you want, reach out to me at jason@elevateconstructionist.com or on Facebook or on LinkedIn. I will help you. That is my job. This is about you. Please let me know what your needs are. You're really going to want to tune into the podcast tomorrow with Brandon Montero talking about intimacy and relationships. It affects us in construction. We really need to get a handle on these things. So go out there, get it done. Be the person that you want to be and be the hardest working person out there. Grow up, be the man or woman that you want to be, that you have always longed to be, that you imagine being successful and fulfilled in construction. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.